Today I'll be teaching you how to combine these two photos to get a pretty epic looking photo like this. Let's get into it. Alright, so you're going to want to open up Photoshop. Then you're going to go to Final, New, the regular stuff. And I took these photos in about 3x2, so I'm going to select 3 and 2 as my width. I'm just going to name this Drone Pop, because why not? And then create. Alright, and so I'm going to drag my photos in. So we've got a picture of kind of like in autumn. All the colors are popping out, looks great. I pre-edited this in Lightroom, so that's why they really pop. And then I'm going to bring in the winter picture and where it snowed like once out of the whole entire year. I was lucky to get this shot. So you see that I have these white lines on the side. That's pretty easy to get rid of. You go to crop, which is just C as a keyboard shortcut, pro tip. And you just move it over and it snaps right on to the photo. And hit enter and that confirms it. Alright, so now since these aren't truly the equal size, I'm going to command transform. Just snap it to the outside. And that should be good. Now looking at this, I took these at relatively about the same height, which is perfect in a sense. So when you want to take these photos, try to take them at the same height in the same location so you can get the best feel so that they don't look all kind of jumbly, because there are photos out there that they were not taken the same place. So the photo that you want to pop out, you're going to want to drag that on top. So in my edit, I used the pen tool to get like a rhombus type form. Find the center of the photo, which is at the 1 mark. I place my pen tool. I go up to the top, which is in find the middle mark. On the border, pen tool. Go on the other side, pen tool. Then all the way down here, pen tool, and then close it off. Alright, now that you've done that, right click or double click if you're on the Mac. Make selection. You do not want any feather radius, you want this to be sharp, but it depends on what you're striving for. I want like a nice rhombus look. It really creates some 3D effect. Hit OK. Now you've got that selected and you want to go down to the bottom right, add layer mask. Click that and it creates this. Now this doesn't look anything like the edit I did, but we're getting there. So you want to make sure that the mask is selected. Go over to brush B as a nice pro tip. Create it a little bit bigger. Zoom in. Now go over to trees that you want to pop out. Now keep in mind I'm doing this quickly, so keep the video short. Like I want the ends of this tree to pop out. I'm going to go over here. I want this tree over here to pop out, like this one over here, the red tree and this green tree. So I select those. I come over, I'm like, oh, that might look like a good one. So select those. Come over here. These look like they want to pop out. Select these. Now all I'm using is just taking away from the mask, using the white brush tool, and come over here, select those. This one looks like it wants to. Come over here, well, this red one will be a good one too. Over here, select, I want to use green one. Come over here, this green one looks good. And that about sums it up. Now, your edit could be a lot different than this, or it could be very similar, but your edit's not going to look exactly like mine. So just pick the trees that you think will be really cool. Alright, now that you selected the trees, you want to zoom in and actually make your brush a lot smaller. Zoom in maybe even more. Make sure you're still on the layer mask and hit X on the brush tool. That'll get you black so that you can remask that area. So what you're going to do is make sure that you are on 100% hardness so that you can get a nice crisp line and there's no kind of blurry edges. So what you do is you just line this edge best you can. You can use the pen tool. I'm just doing this really quickly. Come in here. Like I said, I'm doing this pretty quickly. Line, just get a general outline of it. And in these places where it branches out, I usually just kind of make my own way, kind of make it look like a tree. Then come back down here keep lining the tree out, and just continue this for all the rest of the trees. As simple as that. So time lapse. Oh, also when you're doing this, it might be useful to turn off the layer beneath it so that you can really see. Like, I didn't see these edits before, so I'm just going to brush over those, get everything in there. Alright, cue time lapse again. Now, in a point like this, rhombus line comes down. I'm over here and I can't really tell where it is. So in these instances, I will actually take a pen tool and draw a line that really best fits it, and just keep it there. Go back to the brush, see the line still stays there. So you can actually use the pen tool to be kind of a ruler for you, and that proves to help a lot. Another tip, if you like messed up on a line or something, just hit X again and you can repaint over that line so that you can just, I say I messed up here, I can just paint right back over, hit X again, and you can just repaint back what you needed to get rid of. Cue it again. Alright, now that that's done, and my computer's having a spasm, because its fan is going. So, now that you've got all the trees popped out, keep in mind I did this really quickly, because this is a YouTube video, you don't want to see me work for an hour straight. You want to bring back that back layer, and now you actually have something that looks pretty cool. Not many people have seen something like this. So if you're a perfectionist like me, you can actually redraw what you had. Go to the pen tool, plus, go to your point, go up here to your point, go down here, and come all the way back here, and make a selection again. Hit OK. You selected it. Now go into brush again. Make your size really big. Make sure you are the color white so that you can repaint everything, and just repaint along the line just to crispen that line. Is that a word? Crispen? I don't know. Crispen the line, and that looks pretty good. So just go to File, Save As, Drone Pop. Forgot I named it that. JPEG. Actually, pro tip: I would never save something as a JPEG out of Photoshop unless you're like completely done. You're done editing it. It's a finished masterpiece. I would actually save it as a TIFF file, which is a Photoshop equivalent of a RAW photo. It's a big file, but it allows you to edit the heck out of it even after you edit in Photoshop. So you hit save, saving to the desktop, just hit OK. I've never messed with those settings. Minimize, go to Lightroom, go into import, then you go to Drone Pop, drag it into import. Make sure that Drone Pop is selected, import it. Now I'll go into develop. Now I just kind of like to do a little bit of retouching, add some whites into there, create a little, like, oh geez, that's too much. Create some definition, maybe a little bit more whites. Just creates some nice pop up, increase shadows, reduce the highlights a little bit. I love clarity. It just, I don't know why. That might be a bit too much. I might need to darken it a little bit, bring the shadows back down. So, and then I actually create a custom vignette. So I take the radial filter tool, this tool right here, and draw a circle around it. Now with this you can really do a lot of stuff, like increase the whites, even blur. This has endless capabilities, but I like to turn down the exposure, not too much, maybe a little bit less than that. You can always go down into effects and then expose and then do a vignette, but I always like making my own custom one. Then I usually like increasing the feather to all the way, and maybe expanding it, just tweaking it a little bit, and just lower the blacks a little bit more. And you've got it. That's your finished masterpiece. Go to File, Export, export as a JPEG, quality 100, never mess with these settings. Export, exported, and now, I don't know why it's in there, you've got yourself a masterpiece. So in Lightroom, it's super helpful because this is the before and it just creates much more pop. You got the vignette, you got your subject, it just looks cool. And if you want to share it with yourself, you go over here. I like to share AirDrop. If you have a Mac, you can AirDrop. I'll go over to my phone, unlock my phone, drop it on over to me. Got it. So I can just upload this on the gram, get those likes coming in. People congratulate me, like, how you do that? Well, now you know how I did that. Hope you learned something from this video. Leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this coming in the future. And if you have any questions or like I didn't go over something quite properly, feel free to comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.